Hello everyone, my name is SeaTactics for the win, otherwise known as Ben, and here today I'm going to talk about Fruits Basket 2019 Season 1 and why exactly it is my favorite anime of the year. Of course, I'm more well known for talking about Fruits Basket on my secondary channel called Bento, where me and Rising Sun Reviews talk about Fruits Basket on the Fruits Basket 2019 podcast, and as well the Fruits Basket 2001 podcast. Links for those, if you want to see them, are in the description. But this is a series to me that came out of nowhere. Initially, I actually didn't want to watch this show, and for it to go from that to being my favorite anime of the year, it's going to take a little bit of explaining. But let's start at those humble beginnings. I actually knew about Fruits Basket 2001. I never seen an episode before, but I knew that it was getting a remake, and it's something I was cautiously optimistic for. I didn't have any expectations. I didn't know I was going to like it or not, but if you do know, many old-time viewers will know on my channel, I'm not the biggest fan of slice of life. I feel like a lot of slice of life anime are kind of cookie cutter and just do the same cute girls doing cute things over and over again until, you know, you're all sick of it and you just want to put a bullet through your head. At least that's how I feel about it sometimes. That's maybe a little extreme. But I knew it was kind of like a slice of life, and that's what I thought it was. I didn't really know it was based off this big shoujo manga. I knew it was a shoujo, which I do love shoujo. I think shoujo are quite possibly one of the most underrated genres in manga and anime, because they have a lot of great stories in them. So I contacted Rising because I was doing the Symphogear podcast on his channel, and I wanted to do something for my channel as well. It was just, you know, it was like hey, you do this for me, I do this for you. It was that kind of thing. And I'll help you out with whatever you need, and we can do this podcast. And so that was, you know, kind of a mutual agreement and deal. And initially, I almost didn't even watch Fruits Basket 2019 because I saw the synopsis for it, and I watched the first episode, and I actually didn't think Rising was gonna like it. And so I contact Rising, and I'm like, hey, do you really want to do this podcast? Because I'm not sure that you would like this kind of anime. And lo and behold, he messages me back, and he's like, I actually liked it. Let's just give it 4 or 5 episodes, and, you know, if it doesn't work out, we'll go from there. And so I was like, well, okay, that's fair. And we were doing, I think, also the Fairygon podcast at the time, which, as you know how that turned out. But we did the podcast for about 4 or 5 episodes, and about at episode 2, I was officially hooked on this anime. And by episode 3, I was in love. I was in love with this anime, this cast, this set of characters, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I was watching it with friends, watching it with Rising Sun, and doing a podcast over it and having fun that way. I think I do have to give a little bit of my enjoyment factor to that itself, but not a huge portion. A good amount, sure, but not the biggest of portions. I think that Fruits Basket 2019 is my favorite anime simply because I think it's just the best anime of the year. I think this story was so perfectly told and crafted, and of course we have more seasons. It's based off a 100 plus best-selling shoujo manga, or 100 plus chapter best-selling shoujo manga, and so it's going to get multiple seasons. It's going to adapt the full thing. It's already been said that they're just going to take the whole story and they're going to adapt it, and that is something that I am so excited to hear, because after completing season 1, this anime has me hooked. And the reason for that really is just, you know, getting back to the basics. It's really just the characters. The characters in this anime, there are so many, and because there are so many characters, it keeps you on your toes. It keeps the show fresh. It keeps it refreshing, and it engages you. And I know a lot of people will hear that and they'll say, well, does that mean there's too many characters? No, there isn't too many characters. There's a lot of characters, sure, but it never gets overwhelming, which I think is a big success of this show. I think I've mentioned this in my season 1 review, so if you want to go back, you can check that out. But one of the big successes easily is how many characters are in this show, and it never gets bloated. It never does seem that way. This whole first season, I think, is 24, 25 episodes? Don't quote me if I'm wrong, but it's about that long. It's at least a 2-core series, and each episode focuses on a different character, and sometimes these episodes will have other characters from the past episodes, or characters that have yet to have a proper introduction yet into those episodes. And I think that just makes such a refreshing and creative environment, because there's a lot of these characters I really enjoy. For example, Momiji. I almost called him Momoji, but Momiji is one of my favorite characters characters in the series because he's just very charismatic. He looks like a really young child, but he's kind of an older kid, and he's in his late teens, and he's got this great backstory to him where his mother, and by the way, spoilers for Fruits Basket. I'm going to try to keep them as minor as possible, but I'm going to tell you some aspects about the characters if you want to keep watching this video and you haven't seen Fruits Basket yet. So minor spoilers ahead, but Momiji is interesting because his mother doesn't know who he is, because his mother was trying to kill herself because she gave birth to this horrific monster that would turn into an animal. And I found that so interesting. I found that so compelling and heartbreaking. And that's not all. There's other characters that have backstories like this. There's other characters that have really good backstories. And there's other characters where their whole character is simply that they just love another character. There's so many different kinds of personalities and so many different kinds of stories to tell. One of my favorite characters, and he was only in this maybe 2 episodes at the most, and that's Ritsu. Ritsu is a really good character in my opinion, and his whole character is basically he kind of likes to wear women's clothing, and that's it. He's not like gay or anything. He just likes to wear women's clothing, and I don't know, it's just a different character, and he's so adorable, and he's just fantastic. You can't help but love this guy because he's so sweet and he's so endearing that looking at him you would think he's just some quietly reserved woman, but he's actually a dude, and it's almost like a Ruka situation from Steins Gate where you can't help but like Ruka because he's so just endearing and charming, and that's really awesome. I like those kinds of characters. I mean, oh god, Hatsuharu is one of my favorites just for the way he's introduced. Uotani and Hanajima are probably the 2 best episodes in Fruits Basket, or I guess 4 because I think they get 2 episodes apiece. The best 4 episodes in Fruits Basket are the backstories on Hanajima and Uotani, and most of the people I talk to sort of kind of agree with me on that, and I think that those 2's backstories are just absolutely and just incredible, heartbreaking, full of drama, full of just, you just want to see these 2 succeed. You want to see these 2 get over their issues and their problems, and I absolutely love it. And I think that's one of the reasons why this series is so damn good, is because it goes into each of these characters' backstories and nothing ever feels forced. I know a lot of people will say this is a reverse harem because, Toru's got to pick the right boy. That never happens once in this show, so that's kind of like a bullshit thing. It's definitely not a reverse harem in any realm. And also as well, there's like other criticisms like Toru is a Mary Sue, which once again, that's like you just watched a couple episodes and you just said something that sounded smart. She's not a Mary Sue. Pay a little bit more attention. But as well, I think the finale, the last 2 episodes, really last 3 or 4 even, are just some phenomenal storytelling. Not only did these episodes come out and blow me away, but they blew a lot of people away that have never seen the show before, especially episode 24. The episode before the last episode is such a dramatic and shocking episode. You would never expect it to happen in Fruits Basket. And that's what I can't wait for season 2, is for Fruits Basket to go and explore the tones it had in those episodes. And from what I've been told, Fruits Basket is so much darker than what it seems. On the surface, it seems like cute boys and girls turning into animals, but past that surface, it is so much darker and so much more tense and so much more moody, and I like that. And I hope it tackles more serious subjects like what we saw in episode 24 and what we've been seeing throughout the whole series, because we've already seen that darker side of Fruits Basket plenty of times in this show, but it's still at this point wrapped in that sugar-coated kind of cute animals, cute boys and girls kind of thing. And I feel like as this show has went along, it's gotten way more darker. I mean, at one point a character threatens murder on someone. That actually happens multiple times, and it's not like, oh, I'm gonna murder you, and it's just super hokey. It's like seriously super legit stuff. So, and I think suicide is like a topic that's regularly talked about and delved into. There's like a lot of other topics though about family and not giving up on things and living your best life, things like that. And all of these things added together is why Fruits Basket is my favorite anime of the year. And honestly, I don't think there's a season in this that of the anime that I've seen that even compare remotely to Fruits Basket. I mean, we had Mob Psycho 100 Season 2. I'm not a very Mob Psycho 100 fan, even though I did watch Season 2. The Promised Neverland is the closest thing. I love The Promised Neverland. You have Kaguya-sama, Dororo, Shield Hero, My Roommate is a Cat, going into some, like, you know, some maybe not well-liked stuff, Domestic Girlfriend, you have Kimetsu no Yaiba, you have Carol and Tuesday, One Punch Man Season 2, which, you know, Symphogear Season 5, Vinland Saga, Given, Kanata no Astra, Dr. Stone if you're a fan of that, Lord L. Meloy, Fire Force if you're somehow still watching that. And then, you know, with this season, you got Beastars and Fate Go, and Babylon and a couple other anime people are really raving about. And I just don't think there's an anime this year, besides maybe Promised Neverland, that can compare to Fruits Basket for how much I enjoy and love the series. I think that if you haven't seen Fruits Basket 2019 Season 1 yet, I think you should definitely go out and watch it. And if you want to get an actual full in-depth review, not just, you know, why I'm telling you why this is my favorite anime of the year, definitely go check out my review. It will be one of the first links in the description, as well below that link to the review. I'll have a podcast where me and Rising Sun reviews each week. We talked about every episode of Fruits Basket. It's a very popular podcast, sorta. One of the smaller ones. But we talked about every single episode in depth, and we analyzed and we discussed it. So if you haven't, definitely go check those out if this video interested you. Also, as well, tell me your thoughts about Fruits Basket down below in the comments. I actually want to hear your thoughts on this, and if you want to see more Fruits Basket content. The reason I really made this video not only is to tell you all about why I love Fruits Basket so much, but also to get you guys to consider Fruits Basket. I know recently my Beastars video did pretty well, and that got a lot of people to check out that series, and I think that I want to do the same thing for Fruits Basket on the main channel. Of course, you will see mostly Fruits Basket content on the Bento channel, but every now and again, you will see a Fruits Basket video talking about it, something, and I hope that gets some of you guys to watch it, because Fruits Basket, one of my favorite anime of the year, and probably one of my favorite anime of all time. So, with that being said, click on some of these videos. If you find them interesting, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a video. Know that on the Patreon tiers, $1 and above, you get access to everything. All of that is in the description. Also, join the Discord. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.